So when you go to add assignments, you always want to go through the master course, which with yours, I think it might look a little bit different because you have the AP and then the American Studies, but you go through the editor. So the editor is the little pencil. So if you click on that when you're on your home screen, it'll take you to all of the projects and folders that you have. So for instance, the project we're working on right now is me, myself, and I. So if you click on this little arrow here, it opens up everything, all the folders within that project. So you can add even more folders within the projects, and you can add folders within folders. So for instance, within my scientific method folder, I have a folder for scientific method workshop, and then there's activities within that. So I am going to add a practice assignment here in their presentation folder. And so you just click add to that folder, or in this case for the project, add to me, myself, and I. And then you're going to get all of these different options. So if you just want to insert a file or something to look at, file attachment, you can add Google Docs, website link, YouTube videos. Obviously, all of that is pretty self-explanatory. So if you want to add an assignment specifically, you would click on assignment here, and you can upload a little thumbnail picture if you want one. And I'm just going to title this practice activity. Okay, and then here you can add all of your content, your description, what you want them to do. I probably wouldn't use this add activity instructions because they never see it. So I would just add it right here in the content area. The kids don't tend to look for this as much. Then you can add additional attachments to that activity as well. And if you want it to be something that maybe has like a Google Doc embedded in it or has links embedded, you can do all of that here as well. If you click on this embed content, you can actually embed a Google document within that and then put instructions around it and everything. So that's really nice. That's kind of like Canvas, how you can do that on the pages feature there as well. So put whatever the assignment is here, and then you want to go to settings. This is where you're going to attach due dates and grades and everything like that. So here, your due date, if you don't allow late submissions after the due date, then they can't turn it in, and you have to allow them to turn it in late. I'm not sure if you accept late assignments or not. You want to make sure that this is checked if it's something that's gradable. And then if they need to submit something on Echo, you need to change this, whether it's one document, multiple documents, just a URL, or it can just be like a submission box where they can type right in that box. Okay. And then obviously you assign your points for the different learning outcomes. And with having our grading period set up, we want to make sure that it's semester 1 is selected here. And there's a lot of other like nitpicky things that you can do, but that's just if you want to add lots of detail to your assignments as far as if they need a passing score for course credit or credit in that project, but I don't think you really need to worry about that right now. So then all you do is you save that, and then it shows up here within this presentation folder as practice activity. Okay, so if you want to look at students' grades, you need to go to the gradebook. So when you're at your home screen, you should see this little bar graph looking thing, and that's the gradebook. So the nice thing with this is the first snapshot that you see is kind of how many points you have in each of the learning outcomes. So right now you can see we have the points right here for how much we have this semester so far. Then you can click on student, and that is going to show you each student's individual grades so far. So for each learning outcome as well. So I really like the way that this looks because you can see kind of where kids are standing with the learning outcomes and if they're struggling with one area in particular. Then you can go to activity specific, which is where you'll probably go the most to grade an assignment once kids turn it in. So for instance, let's see, Carla had them turn in their famous quotes essay here online. So you click on the assignment and then it takes you to the activity grader. Now, if it's something where it's on paper and you're just entering the grade and you don't need to look at their actual submission, you can just click this little lightning bolt up here and you can type the grades in and just hit enter and you can go through and enter all the grades. Now, if it's something like this where you need to read it, you need to click on the student's name and then you can go through and grade that. You can type your feedback over here and then also there's options for full credit, no credit, or to clear the score. If you save the draft, it's not going to publish the score in their gradebook just yet. You have to actually hit submit score. You can excuse assignments. You can allow a retry if you want them to resubmit an assignment or if it was late or just any numerous reasons. You can allow a retry and then they should be able to resubmit that. Or if they completed it and it was just a participation thing and you wanted to allow them to just complete it without doing the work, you can hit override complete. You can also return attachments to them. So if there's something like a rubric that you graded and you wanted to attach that as a specific file or something like that, you could return that attachment to them. There's also a notes here. If you want to put a note to yourself, you can do that as well. So that's kind of the gradebook and adding assignments. When you're in, one thing I forgot to mention, when you're in the editor, you can drag assignments around. And so you can have a folder for, say, just English activities or whatever, and you can make them and then drag them around wherever you want them to go. So that's a nice feature as well. So I hope this helps. Let me know if there's anything else you need me to explain. I'd be happy to sit down with you and explain that.